All right, I hope you guys are hyped because I am hyped. Here we are in Game 5 of a best-of-5 finals between the side of Tempest and PLATLAS for the Blue Otter Platinum League. This game will determine the champions, and it has been a crazy series so far. If you are new here, I'm Jay Kelton, joined by Smartest, my duocaster, and man, I could not have asked for a better series to cast tonight because things are looking crazy. You muted me yourself, good sir. That is not on me. All right, there we go. You are good. You've got the mic fixed. I've got the camera fixed. We should be good to go.
A production.
Oh, high quality production right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Always the finest of quality production.
All right.
So
go ahead.
I think Tempest came into the series really strong. You know, the game one was definitely shaky, lost to PLATLAS, but all in all, they played the game really well. Whereas I think PLATLAS I've sort of seen improve, like almost like an SKT, so like improve over the course of this series, right? So I think like this game 5, I would say at this point they're both on equal footing.
All right.
Skill wise, the beginning I would have said, oh, Tempest is just gonna like kill it, but now I think the draft phase this time is going to be really exciting to watch as we see pretty much standard bans coming in from the first 4 games.
And this time, Aatrox's going to be banned by PLATLAS again, making sure to take him off the table. They say if we don't get to pick him first pick, we will be sure and ban him, take him out. Quick thing to note, though, from the side of Tempest, they take away the Lissandra this game. So PLATLAS going to have to find a new mid laner because both games that they have actually found victory on, Cho'Gath has been on that Lissandra. So if they want to take the victory over the whole series, 3-2, they're going to have to find something else that Cho'Gath can play in the mid lane and still find success on. And with that Aatrox ban, you're seeing the Yuumi first picked by Tempest.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant with that, actually. I'm curious. Like, I don't want to have any thoughts just yet. I don't see how the draft plays out. But I was not expecting Yuumi to be the priority pick for them. I love seeing the Echo Alistar return from PLATLAS. They found so much. We saw how well Echo did. We saw how well excuse me. We saw how well Nala and Pepper was performing on the Alistar. I think this will be, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was. I think it was Nala and Pepper. Was it Nala and Pepper on the last game? Or was it Cardi?
No, it was Nala because they swapped sides.
Perfect.
So on the
swap
blue side,
that's what it was. That's what it is. The swap sides, right? So PLATLAS was on blue team last game. Perfect, on the same page, right? So I think the Sivir. I have my reservations on the Sivir getting locked in with a Yuumi. I think that typically you want someone really aggressive early on with Yuumi. You know, like you see like Draven, you see Ezreal, you see even like Jhin getting selected. But I'm kind of surprised to see this draft coming out of Tempest so far. I like the Vayne again. I think Vayne Alistar is really, really strong. And into Sivir, you can only spell shield so much, right? Like, what are you going to spell shield? Spell shield the condemn? Are you going to spell shield the headbutt, the pulverize? What are you going to spell shield?
You got to pick your choices very, very carefully. And also, you got to be looking again at Bruticus on this Echo, his parallel convergence. Again and again, were so good last game. Now, key note here, though, is the difference of sides. So he will be on the red side this time. Might make things a little bit easier for him to actually get into lane with those plays as he can come around the back of the tri-brush, something we've seen junglers do a lot when we are casting these games. Second ban phase has gone through, and Mundo was scary enough in game 4. Tempest actually bans it away for game number 5, also taking the Syndra away from Cho'Gath, so he will have to play something new. The Irelia, the Akali taken away, and Cho'Gath decides to lock in the Ahri for the mid lane.
Yeah, I think, you know, the window was sort of a shock to them because they weren't expecting. That was the first time I think Zion Athenian actually won lane against Grey Jays. So I think that they were very happy taking away that Mundo from Zion Athenian as they hover the Kennen, who Grey Jays did find a ton of success on in game number 2. of the series.
I was just checking that myself. Game number 2 had a great time with Ken in the top lane. However, something that Zion hasn't had many opportunities so far in the series, he gets to counter pick, as the last pick will be coming through in just a moment, seeing the entire team of Team Tempest as they are looking to lock in their last pick for the mid lane. Something to counter this Ahri. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like a LeBlanc come through. No, it's going to be back onto the Vladimir for the side of Duck Solo. Didn't work out so well in game number 1. They tried to delay to get him farmed up, and it wasn't actually that successful there. So we'll see if it's more successful in game number 5. And honestly, out of their entire composition out of Tempest, Vladimir is the tankiest member of their team, and that's actually kind of scary for them, considering that he's not even a true tank. He just heals a lot.
Cho'Gath? That is not what I was expecting.
I'm waiting for just a moment. I'm just waiting for Pro Draft. You know, they sometimes do some weird things. We saw it in a couple of games tonight, but it looks like that is going to be the lock-in. So it's Cho'Gath being played by Zion Athenian in the top lane, taking it against the Kennen, which I'm kind of nervous at the very beginning of the game, simply because he is not a very strong champion pre-6, and even post-6. He's not exactly the best champion without that feast available, so I'm definitely a little bit nervous for him against that poke out of Kennen. I don't want to see Great Jace, though, take Kleptomancy, because he's against a Cho'Gath, and he knows he's going to just be able to control the lane because of his range. Zion going to be shoved underneath the turret for most of that laning phase. Take something aggressive. Look for perhaps the... oh my gosh, now I'm not going to be able to think of Electrocute to try to get just a massive amount of poke damage and constantly shove the Cho'Gath out of lane. I'd like to see him take something a bit more aggressive than the Kleptomancy.
That's one approach. I definitely take something super aggressive like PTA or Electrocute or something like that into Cho'Gath. I think what might be a little smarter is to actually go for the Klepto with the thought process of it's guaranteed you're going to be stacking up the Klepto very frequently. And I think if you just ignore lane phase and say Cho'Gath's really hard to kill as Ken, you're gonna get your autos off, but once Cho'Gath comes with a catalyst and some armor and stuff, it's gonna be really hard for you to actually do much to him. And he's gonna be able to clear the way pretty quick. I think you just say, okay, I want to just get my items as soon as I can, so I can just run into their team and execute all of them. And I think that the slice axe of gold off of Klepto, along with the passive gold you gain off of it from the autos, is really crucial there.
Just worth it to stack up your items a little bit faster. Make sure you're hitting your power spikes before the Cho'Gath is able to find himself being tanky. And that might be the thing for Tempest that allows him to get through the early game stages, especially that slightly post those turrets starting to drop in the laning phase falling. They are so good. At least Great Jace is fantastic at positioning with that Slicing Maelstrom ultimate into the enemy team. So could use that as their advantage. And then they still can lean back on the Vladimir for the super late game. And Zohair, back one of the champions that you even gave him MVP for in game, I believe it was number 2 or 3, doing a fantastic job with the Kayn. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Darker mode coming out once again.
Yeah, however, in the game number 3, a lot of that was also the fact that they had Aatrox doing tons of damage, high damage. I think with this Zohair might struggle, excuse me, is that he's all of a sudden now in a position where he is the front line. Right, where you have no other person on your team that can withstand any amount of damage. You have Vladimir, but Vladimir's kind of like Glass Kitten. It's not a health, enough of his passive and stuff, but he's not. He can't exactly eat tons of damage. So as Kayn, you are now in the front, eating Vayne and Ahri damage, and that's kind of nerve-wracking. So I'm really curious to see how that ends up playing. You have because Kennen will jump in, but he's gonna Zhonya's right away as soon as there's any damage to him. Vladimir is similar to both. He's going to try and jump and do as much damage as he can. So
and then pull away.
Exactly.
It's so not the sustained tankiness of an Alistar or a late game Cho'Gath.
Exactly. You have Tempest, who is just damage. They are glass cannon, just sheer damage. They're going to throw all the damage they have at PLATLAS. And PLATLAS is a front to back sort of. They have Echo, they have Cho'Gath, they have Alistar, they have Vayne in the back. Ahri to add some pick potential. But it's going to come down to, can PLATLAS withstand the amount of damage Tempest has, or will PLATLAS find themselves getting picked off by the Cho'Gath, the Echo, or the Ahri, or even the Alistar? the thing is, PLATLAS has so many engage tools available to them. Once again, I think that the composition PLATLAS drafted is actually very, very nice.
Well, I'm nervous for PLATLAS, and here's the only reason why. When you're looking for that front-to-line team composition style game, but you have to survive the laning phase, that's one thing that PLATLAS hasn't been able to do in games 2 and 3 when they lost. They lost the laning phase, and Tempest snowballed from there. And again, in this particular lineup, there's the chance that they could just straight up win the laning phase with Kennen pushing on the top side, just shoving Cho'Gath out from underneath his own turret, getting a ton of farm and gold to deal with the Cho'Gath, hold him in lane. He's not able to join his team for any big team fights. You've got the Sivir and Yuumi that can play safe in the bottom lane because Sivir's wave clear is insane, and Vladimir just sustains against the Ahri in the mid lane unless Echo can make some crazier sort of play. If something goes wrong, you have Kayn to collapse as well. If Tempest wins the laning phase, despite them having a very bad team fight composition similar to what they ran in game number 3, win the laning phase, steamroll it forward, and win the game. We might be able to see them come through again. Now, before we get too much further, let's go ahead and run through the players and the champions that they have locked in for the last game of the night. Game number 5, these are the choices that they made and felt most comfortable taking into the other team. For the side of Tempest, great Jace on the Kennen once again in the top side of the map. Zohair on his favorite of the Kayn in the jungle. Duck solo back on Vladimir in the mid lane. Come on, shoot faster on the Sivir in the AD carry role. And Cardi back on the Yuumi in the bottom lane support.
And for PLATLAS, we have Zion Athenian running Cho'Gath in the top lane, something we haven't seen tonight yet. Boudikas returning on the Echo jungle. Jugo on the Ahri, another champions coming out for the first time in the series. The Tooper on Vayne AD carry, and Nala and Pepper on the Alistar support. Now, the one thing I want to say is that for PLATLAS, I think a lot of it is going to be dictated by Boudikas enabling Jugo to roam, right? So you're in a Vladimir, it's going to be tough to kill him. You know, if you land a charm, maybe get some damage down, things like that. But I think this game comes down to Jugo pushing the wave into Vladimir and trying to roam, trying to go in the bot lane, trying to go in the top lane. I think bot lane's really what I see them focus on. I think if PLATLAS gets Vayne ahead, it's really hard for Tempest to deal with that.
Well, right, because not only does she have the true damage to take down people that are tanky, you don't got tanks on the side of Tempest. So you know what? That true damage is just going to hurt all the more. We'll see if they can find success with that, as they are still pairing it with the Alistar in the bottom lane, who definitely can bring CC. We've seen it basically be one of the top picks tonight, trading back and forth in hands. Same with the Braum. Now, something to note with the Yuumi is we didn't see quite as much success. I believe it was the Braum facing into that Yuumi last time we saw Yuumi played. This time around, Alistar, a little bit easier to lock down, a little bit easier to get the headbutt knock-up combination against the Sivir, as long as she doesn't spell shield it. So I wouldn't even be surprised to see Vayne step forward, try to burn that spell shield a little bit early to then set Alistar up for success with that headbutt knock-up combination.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up, this is the first game of the night where Braum was neither picked nor banned.
Both teams may be looking for something a little bit different. So as we're about to continue to get into game, want to talk about the Echo, one of the champions that we saw so much success from Boudikas on in game number 4, and kind of one of the leading reasons why they actually found themselves a victory in that game. We'll see if he can pull it off again this game. There's a lot of options with the parallel convergence to pair with the CC, both from the knockup or the rupture from the Cho'Gath and the knockup from the Alistar, or you can set up a charm from Ahri into the parallel convergence as well. So looking for some good stuff from Boudikas, looking for that aggression to keep up from game 4 as they're riding that high of victory into game number 5, which is the last game between these two teams. Tempest taking on PLATLAS, and we'll see which team comes out as victories and champions for the Blue Otter League.
Absolutely. It seems like a pretty standard 5-point here from both teams, or variations of at least. Now, just like last game, the one thing that I like about PLATLAS' draft is you get hit by one CC, you get hit by every CC. They have so much chain CC available to them. And the other big thing to note is in team fights, that silence will be so crucial. If Cho'Gath is able to land the silence onto Duck solo in team fights and they're able to burst him down, that is basically the team fight guaranteed. or even onto Kennen before he's able to Zhonya's. So while I think that the Cho'Gath pick is definitely a little bit off meta, I do think that there is potential for it to be the deciding factor in onto these team fights.
All right, I'm agree with that. That silence could be huge. Needs to position forward to be able to do so. In late game, Cho'Gath definitely going to get tanky enough to find that positioning. Another thing that I personally want to watch for is this Yuumi. And one of the things, just for a little bit of fun, I wouldn't mind seeing is Yuumi hop onto Kayn before he takes that ultimate into an enemy team member, just to kind of see how that interaction works, as I don't think I've seen it yet in all the games that I've casted. But the poke from Yuumi in this bottom lane, as long as Alistar could be kind of that front line, absorb it, make sure that the Vayne isn't hit by it and poked out of lane, there should be a lot of success from PLATLAS in this bottom lane. Nope, there's that poke coming through already onto the Vayne.
Yeah, one thing is, like, we see all laners being super aggressive this game. They want the prize, they want the victory, they want #1. Looks like we're going to see Kennen just trying to get a lot of harass down, trying to get those Klepto stacks off. Alistar and Vayne actually getting harassed down quite a bit by the Yuumi. I'm kind of surprised to see that this early on. Alistar does have Headbutt Pulverize available to him, but is choosing to sort of play back for now.
Maybe waiting to see that Sivir burn the spell shield a little bit earlier, especially when you're still in the early stages of the game. You don't quite have that opportunity to layer all 3 CCs together. Ooh, good tumble from Vayne to get out of the range of the Yuumi Q. I like to see that. However, Sivir doing a good job of kind of soloing out this lane with Yuumi just being there to kind of help out simply because of the wave clear. That's one of the things to watch for when you have a Yuumi player, is you need someone that can clear the waves kind of solo by themselves, isn't reliant on a support to kind of help out in that way. And Sivir's a fantastic champion to do that.
Nice sidestep from the Kennen there. This is where I feel a little bit nervous for Zion at the Indian. He is in a melee versus ranged matchup. Range obviously having an advantage there, at least early on. Does have a massive wave pushing into him, but is down already about 11 CS. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Neither jungler really doing much yet either. Both junglers sort of just power farming, maybe rushing level 6.
Yeah, one
no
of the
real
things
tankable lanes either.
I'm curious about from these junglers, and well, both teams, it's game 5, right? Again, you're kind of back into that, you know, we want to make sure that we're not the one who goes down, is the first blood in a game 5. The finals, as Alistar goes forward, going to find a little bit of a knockup. He's waiting out the spell shield from the Sivir. He actually delayed the entire time, so the spell shield will fall off. No mana back to the Sivir, but it does mean that Alistar backs away from that engage.
Yeah. Excuse me. And still in the top lane. Oh, so interesting. I can't actually tell if the auto goes off when Yuumi jumps to an ally. If there's a projectile following around, I can't tell if it goes through or not.
It cancels it. I hard assume that it cancels it. The main reason why is because as a Vi, if you assault and battery the Yuumi, that actually gets canceled when she hops onto an ally. It's completely canceled. So my assumption is if a targeted pick ability that is locked onto an enemy champion, if that is canceled, then I assume an auto attack gets canceled too. As the Alistar once again going forward, Vayne just getting a couple of auto attacks down. Yuumi Q going to slow down Alistar, but there is that third proc out of the Vayne, just poking away a little bit onto this Sivir. However, keep in mind Yuumi is there, so she'll be able to kind of top off Sivir's health over time.
Yeah, and just look at the CS lead that we already have in the top lane. It's already a 600 gold lead at 5 minutes in. It is the sole reason why you see the 600 team gold difference. The sly stacks of gold Kennen has accumulated along with the 11 CS lead has put him at a huge advantage, and I'm curious to see if, you know, Grey Jace is able to sort of snowball this lead forward, as this is sort of the only lane that has a decisive turnout.
Yeah, everything else fairly even between both other lanes. I also want to quickly note there is a control ward from, I believe it was the Echo, that dropped in deep into the enemy team territory, so might be able to use that to catch sight of where Tempest jungler is roaming around to. But there is the Kayn hanging around the mid lane at the moment. Jugo down to about half in mana, so could be some plays there, but level 6s are coming through for the mid lane and top lane. As you can see, that Kennen already having level 6 to the level 5 of Zion, as the Alistar once again going forward, looking for maybe just a little bit of harass onto the Sivir. And she actually didn't use the spell shield that time, or did I miss it? Did she use it to avoid the knockup?
No. She learned her lesson by wasting spell shield on the trample attempt. And
oh, now Alistar gonna go forward. She still gets knocked up though, and now doesn't have any mana left over. Silver's gonna, or sorry, the Vayne gonna get a couple more shots down. Doesn't get that third proc of the Silver Bolts. But Yuumi is still there, continuing to keep Sivir topped off enough to stay in lane. Still losing CS, though. Should be able to at least match the Vayne after this wave crashes.
And just look at how many Kleptomancy procs Kennen has already gotten. He is sitting on 2 extra stealth wards and 2 pilfered potions of rogue. It's just getting so many videos. Oh, and also an extra health pot.
Yeah, so he's going to be pretty happy. Can sustain for quite a while on this top side. So just sitting there, farming away. 10 CS lead over this Cho'Gath. But Cho'Gath is at level 6 now, so he can start to feast some of those minions, get a little bit of health back, maybe even attempt to make a play if the jungler comes in. But it's Nala and Pepper that's roaming up. There is a ward, though, by Great Jace, so they would be able to see the Alistar go in if Nala decided to. However, the Alistar deciding instead to roam towards the mid lane.
Yeah, Zion will try and back here to try and get some more items, get the catalyst going, get the sustain going, refill the pots. It looks like this could be an early dragon from PLATLAS here, which I would love to see, but doesn't look like they're going to commit to it.
I gotta say, I'm loving the tumble from the Vayne to avoid those Qs out of Yuumi. He's gonna get a little bit of health and shield onto Sivir on the bottom side. Great dodge by the Alistar to avoid a little bit more poke coming through. The Kayn and the Echo both kind of hovering around the Ocean Drake. Echo probably going to start it up, considering that he cleared out that control ward earlier. I think he actually has started it up. Yeah, he started it up, so he's going to start soloing it. We'll see if the rest of the team decides to try to collapse in and help him out, or if he's just going to solo it down.
Yeah, I think I like seeing Nala and Pepper look for these sorts of engages, but the only thing I wish I could see is the Tuper positioning himself more for those engages. Looks like Boudica's getting dropped really low though. Holy moly! Well,
that's what makes it so surprising when the Ocean Drake comes through for PLATLAS, and now Alistar once again trying to get a little more poke damage down the. Ooh, that was actually an opportunity for Vayne to try to find a condemn onto Yuumi. That squishy cat. However, they're going to get some good poke back onto the Vayne. She has backed once already, picking up the Cutlass for herself as the Sivir has been able to grab the Caulfield's Warhammer. So a couple of beginning items in the bottom lane so far, as everyone's kind of just gotten their first couple of backs off. Keep in mind, Proto Belt onto this Kennen in the top side as he's 20 CS up over this Cho'Gath, and Echo has yet to really gank any lane.
Yeah, both laners, both junglers struggling to find any opportunities, I think. You have Ahri pushing into Vlad. Both Ahri and Vlad are very tough to gank. You have Yuumi Sivir on one hand, and you have Vayne Alistar on the other. You don't want to gank one, you don't want to gank the other. You have Ken in the top lane, super mobile champion. This is actually a really tough game for the jungler, for both junglers, I think. So really, it was Boudica's pulling the trigger on the dragon that gave him a lead over Zohair, who hasn't been able to get any dragon stacks yet.
We'll see what can happen with that. Right, it's going to take a very long time for this Kayn to actually find his Darken form or his Assassin form, though I assume that it is that Darken form that's going to be coming through. So it's going to just take a while for that to actually happen, which a little bit of favor for the side of PLATLAS, and they really need to find those small advantages wherever they can just to deal with this eventual monstrosity of a Kennen in the top side, just because of how much gold he's been able to farm up off this Cho'Gath. Currently almost to 1,000 gold lead over Cho'Gath just due to the farm and Kleptomancy procs. And now beginning going in, looking for a stun onto the Cho'Gath. Ooh, little bit of a rupture. Nice attempt to try to knock up the Kennen. However, he's able to sidestep it.
Yeah, and I just want to comment on how well Shoot Faster is playing this lane as Sivir. Every time Yuumi looks for the Q, so you see Sivir positioning forward to extend the range to allow Yuumi to connect her Q.
And we'll see it happen there as Sivir going to just continue to let Yuumi poke away. However, as the game is progressing on and level 6s and 7s are coming into the bottom side of the map, the Alistar eventually will get tanky enough that he can't absorb that. I also love his start to the game. Boots of mobility. So again, seeking those opportunities to find that jump in, look for those knockups as Echo's going to be coming in. He's not going to be seen so far. There's that parallel convergence we talked about. The flash force out by the Yuumi. Yuumi ultimate going to be used as well to kind of lock down the enemy team. So they burn the flash on the Sivir. Sorry, excuse me, Yuumi doesn't have flash. Echo still gonna be sticking around though. He's got the red buff, he's got the slow. On to come on, shoot faster. That Sivir doesn't have flash. Another TP called in from the cannon to the top side. Kane is here as well. Headbutted backwards. Bruticus, hello. There is the ultimate out of the cannon. Gonna be forcing the flash, and it still gets the stun onto the Tupper. The Vayne crumbling away as used the ultimate flash and heal to escape. And now the Echo ulting backwards, but only to find his own death. Not in position for that. Jugo around the corner, waiting to see if maybe these people dive the turret just a bit too much. Tupper half health, has to back away. So is the Alistar, and a great first play by Tupper. By Tempest. Give themselves the first blood of the game, going on to the cannon, as well as a huge number of plates. They're gonna lose the wave though, so they won't claim first turret just yet.
Yeah, I think I would like to see Jugo possibly TP to that fight to match solo there. It was unfortunate Athenian did not have TP available to match Jace's TP, so you know they obviously 2-to-1 TP advantage. But I mean, 2 plates, it's rough, right? Because I'm trying to see if the gold equalizes at all, which it doesn't. You still have an 800 gold advantage on Kennen. So even though Kennen got the first blood, got the gold off of that, the 2 plates that Cho'Gath picks up does sort of neutralize that, at least in the laning part of it. So all in all, like, it could be worse.
Well, he also evened up farm against Kennen. While Kennen jumped to the bottom side of the map, Cho'Gath said, just going to mass farm this wave, push in, get myself 2 turrets. So a good move by Zion. Now picking up that Abyssal Mask, going to make things a little bit easier to be that tank we want to see out of him at the top side of the map, and keeping the game fairly even despite that first blood going over to Kennen.
Yeah, the only thing is you also have a slight CS lead building up on the Vayne, who has been electing to play the Rune King first here. I want to see, like I mentioned before, I want to see Ahri looking to roam more. I really think that's what PLATLAS needs for this game. I think if you're Tempest, you got to keep playing the way you're playing. I think they're playing exactly to their win condition. Alistar,
a little engaged at the bottom side of the map, but again, just going to be spell shielded and walked away from by the Sivir. But you can see that constant pressure on the bottom side, given a 10 CS lead over to the Vayne, who can keep kind of stacking it up. And when you're constantly winning and pushing the enemy team underneath the turret, you position around the Drake, and that's exactly what they're doing. Alistar going ahead and getting some deep wards. Scuttle Crab currently controlled by Tempest. However, it won't last for forever, and that opens a door for you to try to go in and find yourself this Drake, which is a Mountain Drake, second Drake of the game.
Yep. Mountain Drake would be great for PLATLAS, just like it was last game, because again you have the Vayne. So, do you see what I'm saying? The Sivir positioning up, extending the range of the Yuumi Q. I love to see it. That's really good execution there. However, PLATLAS is not in position for this dragon. It might just go over to Zohair without contest. Oh no, Zohair actually escaping. Now, the Abyssal Mask that Zion Athenian did pick up will allow him to lane against Kennen a lot more. As Owen engaged, looks like it's just... Oh, misses the combo.
Was waiting out the spell shield, not going to be able to get it. And the TP actually even called from the Cho'Gath into the bottom side, because they're going to turn straight onto the Mountain Drake. Turret plating is down, so that should open the door for Kennen to try to secure the top lane turret, as his TP is currently not available. So every member of PLATLAS going to be here hanging around looking for the Mountain Drake. Sivir Boomerang going to drop it low, but no, the Echo will smite it away and secure the second Drake of the game for PLATLAS. And now the TP out of the Ahri, head to the top side to keep the Kennen from securing the turret. A good rotation of champions, and PLATLAS are going to find themselves another small victory.
But the little duel comes up between junglers. Nothing much, nothing committed. Interestingly enough, Ahri rushed GLP, opting for the slow. Not what I was expecting. I was expecting the Ludens to come out of Jugo first, but might have decided that he wanted to play more utility route of things.
Oh, now a play on the bottom side of the map. Once again, trying to set up Sivir. The Echo's coming in. He's got the parallel convergence available. We'll see where he decides to drop it. Is they're going to just go diving straight onto the dirt itself. Yuumi ultimate going to lock up 2 of the members of PLATLAS, the Vayne and the Alistar, unable to chase this one in. And look at the damage. Wow, the Tupper dropped under 200 health with that turret shot, as well as the poke from the Sivir. They're going to have to just sneak past the turret. The Q from Yuumi fetches her out, snipes her down. Kari picks up a kill. Second kill of the game, and now Ahri going to be in trouble. Throws out that ultimate, but also a great charm onto the Kane. I think it was actually a flash charm to make sure Kane couldn't walk any further forward, as she uses all 3 charges of the Spirit Rush to get out.
Oh, we'll look for Vladimir here. Silence did come down.
Lowing things down onto the Vladimir. Duck Solo going to go ahead and pool, take the Proto Belt to get a little bit more distance, but there's the Rupture from the Cho'Gath. Continue to chase this one in. He has Feast, he's going to use it, but Duck Solo doesn't care, just healed up by the Yuumi. And with Pepper getting a little bit low, the Alistar walking away, the fight's going to dissolve. But you can start to see that Zion Athenian, despite being down a lot in this game, can start to make some plays.
Yeah, he is definitely going to start getting beefier and beefier as the game goes on. The one thing to note is that Great Jace has just been free farming. He has a 140. He got more CS in the game so far. Got a 24 CS lead. It's 3 waves right there. I mean, he's 4 waves. What am I saying? It's going to be tough, like, because after a certain point, Kenneth's just going to walk into your team and kill everything because he's just got so much AP and damage using from the Maelstrom.
2,000 gold lead for Tempest at the moment. We'll see as those items start to come through if they can actually use that gold lead to find more advantages. That Zhonya is being started by both the Vladimir and Kennen in their respective lanes. So you're seeing a lot of AP coming out of those two, which leaves Sivir and the Kayn to be the true ADs for the team as well. But keep in mind, as the laning phase continues to progress, that 2,000 gold lead doesn't mean all that much. And team fight-wise, 5v5, PLATLAS has advantages. So we'll see once these turrets finally fall, as no turrets are down yet this game.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, as you mentioned, like at the beginning of the game, where PLATLAS' strengths definitely were not in their laning phase, but rather...
Oh, Rupture going to land, going to set up for the ultimate out of Echo. Hold on, no, he's not going to use the ultimate, just parallel convergence to try to engage. Kayn going to come in now for the return gang. And whoa! Great Zhonya's from Great Jace in the top side. Echo's going to fall. Ooh. Kayn going to go ahead and try to throw that ultimate onto Cho'Gath, but he's pretty tanky. The Feast going to make sure that Kayn takes the flash away because he would have fallen if he had tried to continue to 1v1 the Cho'Gath.
Right. Cho'Gath, unfortunately, not finding the Feast in time. If he'd managed to connect the Feast onto Kayn, would have killed him.
Second kill to this Echo on the top side. Carry potential out of Great Jace once again. Kind of being that core member for the side of Tempest. Azari in that mid lane. Going to be dropped down to half with a good burst of spells from the Vladimir.
Honestly, could have elected to use Hemoplague and go for the execute play.
That's what I was actually checking out now. I was like, okay, Aerie, checking out Flash available. Hemoplague up. Sizen said just to go back for the poking as Tupper in the bottom lane. The Vayne has to back away underneath the turret once more. Sivir needs a couple of... Oh, man, that is some serious Q damage. And Yuumi going to get a little bit more poke as well. That is just going to force this Vayne out of the bottom lane. And one of the things that it's doing is it's actually allowing the Sivir to catch back up in CS. On the bottom side, Echo looking for maybe another gank, but instead backing away as he's seen on the board.
Yeah, and I was kind of critical, especially in the champ select, of how the Yuumi would work out. But this is one of the cleanest executions of Yuumi and Sivir I've ever seen.
Oh, Echo ultimate fairly early on, but the Yuumi going to go ahead and lock him up. Alistar still going in, taking up for the team, playing that front line. Now Vladimir to the backside, looking for the Vayne. Going to get a good amount of damage. He's going to flash the ball, but he's going to flash still in pool 4. Ew, well, the Condemn from Vayne actually resets him close enough to try to chase into the Echo. Won't find the kill as Kayn chases down the Alistar. Ladies and gentlemen, in game number 5, it's currently a 5-0 Tempest lead over PLATLAS, and this is where when they win the laning phase, they have shown serious strength in being able to win the game. We'll see if they can pull it off, as so far they haven't lost a single member. Great Chase to the top side, getting a little bit of sun onto the Cho'Gath. Zion Athena trying to actually turn things around. A little bit of Rupture damage. Sunned up once again. The cannon could go all in. Has the Zhonyas and the Proto Belt both available. No, instead going to let Cho'Gath walk away as the Mountain Drake is secured by Tempest, matching the mountain that PLATLAS already has.
Yeah, and at this point, actually, though, like the one thing is, like, you do see Zion starting to get to a point where he is very, very tanky. It's hard for Kennen to deal with him here. Always force the Proto Belt.
Oh!
As I'm talking about, it gets the kill.
The Feast comes down. Sorry, Kennen, you did not Zhonya's in time, and goes down. That's the silence of the power of the silence of a Cho'Gath in the top side, securing the second turret of the game. Unfortunately, it wasn't first turret, as I was already claimed to the bottom side of the map, but a little bit of extra gold back into the hands of PLATLAS. It's a 3,000 gold lead for Tempest, but they have not played a perfect game so far, as they did lose that cannon on the top side of the map. Now the Kayn going to come in looking for these two, Sivir and Yuumi, both warming up as well. Two-man knockup by the Kayn. The Cho'Gath dropping low. He's going to be taken out, and Cardi will pick up a second kill of the game. And now Budakust on the run, trying to get a little bit of health off of the honey fruit. Yeah. And with the Ahri there as well, they have been able to escape.
Yeah, when you have members that close together, GLP is such a massive slow. kind of just locks him down there. As the game goes on, I'm curious to see if that'll really help him. Got it. Oh, what a hard engage.
Oh, that turret in the mid lane, though, going to fall. So PLATLAS finding a little bit back. The Vayne in the bottom side now has to 1v1 the Kennen as great Jace going to continue to chase in. A good condemn from Vayne, but she's still been hit by the Q. Stunned up. Kennen's still going to chase it and uses the lightning rush. Needs just a couple more auto attacks. The Alistar is here, though, just walks right past Kennen saying, you know what, I really don't want to fight you. I just wanted to make sure you didn't kill Vayne.
Very accurate portrayal of what just happened.
Oh,
I still want to continue to give props to Cardi, though. Really playing Yuumi super well. I was not expecting it to have as much impact this game as it has been having.
Obviously, the ban of Yuumi in Game 4 was one of the things that helped PLATLAS come out with that victory, tying up the series 2-2. They elected to let it through in Game number 3, and it was first picked by the side of Tempest, so obviously very confident on it, but now can they carry this into a victory as Alistar is coming in, looking for the engage. Yuumi is still here and available. Oh, a good bait by Alistar, burns the ultimate out of Yuumi, and now there's a TP coming in as well from the Ahri. We'll see what they can do as the Sivir on the run has Yuumi there as well. The TP coming in, it's going to be a big 5v5 fight. Here's Vladimir to the back of the line, and that's Lightning Maelstrom from the cannon, taken down one member already. The Alistar falls, but Yuumi has been feasted and gone. Echo chasing in, looking for the Sivir, but dropping low. Underneath 300 health, should be finished off by the Sivir. Ghost Golden staying alive for a moment, but he's the only member left alive from PLATLAS, and a triple kill from the Kayn. Zohair showing up, wanted MVP in one game, now looking for MVP in a second. Tempest coming out huge with the ace at the 22-minute mark.
Yeah, that was so huge for them. I mean, at this point, it's going to be really, really hard for PLATLAS to come back. They're going to continue this gold lead forward. So what's the next dragon? We've got a Cloud Drake popping up next. I think if they're able to get the Cloud Drake with a Kennen Kayn, that's going to be pretty gross. Especially when you have Sivir on the hunt, oh, you're going to be a fast team.
When they decide to engage, their engage is going to be so good. And you saw in that last fight on the top side of the map, right, where things started to go in favor of PLATLAS. However, Tempest not only collapsed, but they were able to reset so much. Not only does Vladimir have pool, but there's a Zhonya's on both him and the Kennen. So every time PLATLAS says, you know what, I got this kill, I got this, let me be focusing on this person, they Zhonya's. And PLATLAS has to change direction, focus on somebody else until that Zhonya's comes back up. And now they're free with those cooldowns refresh to do it all over again. And PLATLAS just looked completely lost in that fight. There was no true focus on the right people. Even Echo, Budakust, who's done such a good job in the 2 games that he's played this Echo, jumping onto the Sivir seems to be the right choice, but she has a spell shield, delaying his ability to take her down. And then he realizes he's just too low health to continue to the chase, even though the turret isn't there, tries to back away far too late, and gets dropped.
Yeah, actually, I think he should have focused like Kennen there. I don't think there was any chance of him keeping up with the Sivir. I just want to point out, I can't remember the last time I've seen an 0-0 and 1080 carry in a competitive game.
Oh, yeah, I just realized that. It looks a little bit weird because there's 3 O's, but nope, there's a 1 snuck in there at the very end. Sivir coming out with some huge assists. Hasn't been able to secure any kills yet this game, but 10 assists out of 11 kills. Her kill participation has been massive this game. Keep in mind, though, that Cho'Gath was able to split into the bottom side and grab a 3rd turret, so turrets are even between the 2 teams. There's actually a Drake advantage for the side of PLATLAS, so all of this gold comes off of the little bit of the CS lead that Tempest has and these kills, and now Budakust is going to be in trouble trying to run away on the hunt, called by Sivir. There's a Q coming out, catching Echo as he runs and taking him down.
And they got the dragon. The prowling projectile, like, I'm actually so impressed with Cardi this game because I haven't seen prowling projectile being used so efficiently as I have this game. It has guaranteed so many kills, 9 out of 12 KP. I just have to say, it really is very impressive. I would 100% give MVP to Cardi this game.
Well, we'll see if they can still come out with more of these fights that they've been able to find success and picks on. Keep in mind, they don't have that tank, and as the game scales later and later, despite how much damage Tempest has, there is still an Alistar and a Cho'Gath they will eventually have to chew through. They do have that Vladimir, though, so that could be kind of their call for the late game. As that mid lane turret dropping low. Look at the damage coming out of the cannon. Cho'Gath still going to step forward. He's going to get a silence into multiple members, but he's been stunned up. Zion Athenian trying to run away. The Yuumi ultimate called. Echoes in, though. The Alistar gets a little bit of a knockback, but he's been CC rooted. The exhaust dropping Echo, so he has to back away. Alistar is gone, though. The still chase forward from Budicus, who goes golden. And now that's the Jugo just flashing on in, looking for a bit more damage. However, the Ahri will get dropped as Kayn is just coming up massive, unstoppable. And everyone for the side of PLATLAS is left alive. 3 members, blinking health bars, running back to the fountain, all sitting at a quarter health as they lose that second tier turret in the mid lane. And things are looking so good for Tempest as they are whipping up a storm in game number 5.
Yeah, that heal from Yuumi was kind of gross. I was not expecting to see Vladimir's health bar pop back like 50%.
Well, he already has massive heals. Just add a couple extra heals on top of it as well. Yuumi seems to be pretty happy with that. Speeding the cannon forward as well as they are headed right back to the Rift, maybe looking for a position around the Baron, because if a fight breaks out around the Baron, especially if it is not a full 5v5 fight, Tempest should be able to just continue to clean these up again and again. Vladimir did not do very good in game number 1, was mostly stuck in this mid lane, couldn't quite scale up fast enough, but is currently sitting on 3 completed items, 2, 0, and 4, showing up huge, and options are so limited for PLATLAS to get back into this game.
Yeah, and it is... The heal Yuumi has is about 230. That's a pretty significant heal. That's a pretty significant heal. It's powered up by the Ardent Sensor that Yuumi has rushed right after Unholy Grail, which is actually, I can't remember the last time I've seen Unholy Grail purchased. It is such a, it's almost like a relic from the past. Wow, that connected? Kind of surprised. Little duel coming in.
Zohair just playing with Echo back and forth again, jockeying for position with this warding and vision. They're going to be able to steal away the red buff from PLATLAS, continue to take these neutral objectives. There is a cannon split pushing the bottom side of the map, so it's going to be a 5v4 fight if PLATLAS decides to start this one up. Cho'Gath stepping forward, maybe looking for a rupture. But again, I gotta say, I agree with you on this Sivir. Her positioning, allowing Yuumi's Q to actually connect to a lot of these people is so good. And they're not going to focus on the Baron. Instead, knowing that they have the advantages in items, they're just going to head and keep shoving down the mid lane.
Yeah, they have Ken in the side wave who no one can contest either, so they can keep playing this game as much as they want. And all they're doing is going to free farm these waves. Like, it is just, they're just playing with their food right now.
Kayn is actually going to go ahead and start up the Baron. That might be just a bait to get PLATLAS to leave the base, try to come out, see if they can fight and find a couple more of these kills. Every exterior turret besides the bottom one that is hanging on by a thread is down for PLATLAS. The Baron started up under 5,000 health. Cho'Gath is here, though he could try to flash and feast it away. He's going to come up just in time. Can he flash the wall? No, he decides not to flake the flash over the wall, and that means that Kayn is able to secure the Baron onto all 5 members of Tempest, and PLATLAS back to playing passively or just continuing to bleed gold. 10,000 deficit right now.
This is sort of the same issue I brought. Oh, this is going to be a... Oh, good flash. Good flash, good flash. This is sort of the same issue I brought up with PLATLAS from games 2 and 3, is they just sort of... They're afraid to take action. They just sit back and just let whatever happens happen to them. Instead of, like, trying to look for what the picks they need to look for, they just kind of sit back. Like, they throw what they can, like, throw it out there, say, oh, maybe it connects, maybe it doesn't, but... I don't see them actually setting anything up. I don't see them setting up vision, look for a flank play. I don't see, like, I don't see Cho'Gath trying to, like, body block to allow for the means to be cleared.
They're trying to wait for Tempest to make a mistake, and when Tempest have the lead, it's very rare for them to make the mistake, as Echo's going to jump in, but he's immediately CC'd, has to ult back without touching anyone, and now the Slicing Maelstrom from the cannon, looking for the Vayne, is able to secure it. Silver's actually the one who gets the kill, and now the Kayn to the back line, finds himself 2 kills. The Ahri going to fall as well. It is an ace, and with the Baron, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think the death timers at 30 minutes into the game is going to be enough. You get to see in a 19-2-3 fashion, Tempest will destroy PLATLAS and secure Game 5 and come out as champions for the Blue Otter Platinum League. They did so incredibly well. Game 2 and 3, a couple of falters and a couple of iffy moments around Game 1 and Game 4, but in the end, they show in dominating fashion why they are absolutely the champions of the Blue Otter Platinum League.
Pretty convincingly too. That was it was a stomp fest right there.
Absolutely beautiful to watch this team. Go ahead, Smartest.
I was gonna say, when PLATLAS won, it wasn't nearly as convincing. They won, they struggled, they fought for it, they bled for it. When Tempest won, it was just slaughter. The games that they took an early lead, they just carried that all the way through. They didn't give anything up. They just decimated the enemy team. Whereas I think, like I mentioned before, I would have liked to see PLATLAS not play that scared. The whole team just seemed terrified to take any course of action.
Well, beautiful stuff from Tempest throughout these games. Unfortunately, PLATLAS, they're going to have to walk away, but they don't have to walk away empty-handed. They took it all the way to a Game 5. So massive congratulations to Tempest for being the champions, the victors of the Blue Otter Platinum League. They get to move on, and maybe they can, knowing that they have crushed gold, knowing that they have, they were the winners of gold last season. They can now say that they're the winners of the Plat this season. They can move on as they have qualified for the Blue Otter Masters. Maybe make their way into there and show up extra big. They have done a fantastic job. Thank you all for coming out and watching this series. I hope that it was an entertaining one. Thank you to Smartest for coming in and joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been XLNC Shoutcasting. Any last comments, Smartest?
Nothing. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for the good games.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. We're going to take a quick, no, not even break. We're just going to go to the end credit scene. Thank you all for coming in. You have been huge. I don't need to. Well, I guess I could run the Silver Scrapes to the end. It's got a hype music at the moment, but I want to go ahead and thank all of you who have come out and dropped those follows as well, supporting the channel. All right, thank you so much to Apex Predator XVI for the follow, Blue Otter League for the host, GG Ren with the resub tier 1 for 9 months, Blues the Jungler for the 1-bit, and Rippus for the follow as well. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you for all the hype coming in and joining us. We will catch you all next time. Have a great one.